I'm Sandra McGuire, author of Teach Students How to Learn, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about this online course. I can remember as clearly as if it were yesterday my first year as an instructor. I would spend hours and hours preparing my lessons, making sure that the content was clear and engaging in a way that students could learn. And many of my students did well. But I also had several students who failed, but at that time, I didn't think it was my fault. I didn't worry about the students who were failing because I thought it was their fault. And when colleagues would complain that students just don't have study skills these days, I certainly agreed with that. But I didn't think that it was my responsibility to teach those things because, first of all, I didn't have enough time. I had too much chemistry to cover. But in retrospect, I realized that a lot of my resistance to teaching study skills was due to the fact that I didn't know how to do that. I didn't have the language to explain to students exactly what they needed to do in order to better learn the material. But now that I know how to do that, I see that this is the most important skill that we can teach our students. And I'm reminded of a student whom I encountered recently at a holiday party, and I overheard her talking with another student. And she said, I never would have completed my PhD if it were not for the study skills that Dr. McGuire taught me. And I realize now that this is true with so many students. Now, if you're like me, if your experience is very similar to mine, then this online course is definitely for you. I've taught thousands of faculty members how to teach these skills, and they in turn have taught their students. And the results are consistent. When we teach students how to learn, they embrace the strategies and they go on to be very successful. In this course, you'll be led by a mentor and you'll interact with colleagues to see exactly how this is done and to develop your own way of doing it for your students. And my hope and my expectation is that when you learn these skills and start teaching them to your students, you'll have as much fun with your students as I've had teaching my students how to learn over the last 2 decades.